Aidan Hutchinson from Michigan. He was my number one edge rusher. I would be shocked if he's not the number one overall pick in the 2022 draft. That's what odds makers are pointing to. He has multiple moves. He has all the combination, the size, the speed, the power, the hands, the combination. I think there's shades of the Bosa brothers there. I had him for my player comp as a TJ Watt light. I'm not saying he's going to be TJ Watt, the single season sack record holder, but that's what it reminded me of, consistently lining up over teams, opposing right tackles, and making opposing offenses' lives absolutely miserable.
I'll tell you this. Aidan Hutchinson, 6'7", has a motor. When you look at his background history coming from his family, a lot of his family members played in the league, superior athletes, played a lot in college. Here's a guy you won't have to worry about anything off the field. He gets it. He's a pro's pro. I get that part. For me, it was kind of a limitation. And the limitation was the kind of guys he was going against in college, Mark. Yes, he probably has the total package right now. But for me, this is his ceiling. What you saw in college, this is exactly what you're going to see in the NFL. I'll be the first to say it. I know I'm going to get a lot of kickback back. But, man, I think he's a robber. I think he needs a Batman for him to really go and trust his potential. I think if everybody's just lining up and they know what Aidan Hutchinson is, I think he would struggle. 6'7", and then when they measure his arms, they said he had the shortest arms out of everybody who was 6'7". What I do know, if you're an offensive tackle, you have to have long arms. As long as you use that reach and that punch, you're able to kind of mirror wherever you want the guy to go. Yes, he does have a motor. Yes, the total package right now, NFL ready out this edge rusher group, I think he is. I think what you saw at Michigan is just him in general. There is a ceiling to his potential, and that's what it is. That's why I had it at number 3 for my edge rusher.
That makes sense, Ike. At least in my opinion, that makes sense. Again, you might get pushback from that. One other thing I noticed too, with all of his playmaking abilities too, Ike, from a defensive end standpoint, he did not break his contained responsibility, and he still consistently made plays. You always tell me, Ike, when we watch film during the season, during your Taylor Talk segment analysis of game film that we watch, that you lose contain, you lose the game. And a lot of times with defense ends, they go and they get sucked in, say, on a counter tray action or a read option play, and they're trying to make the highlight play and they lose contain responsibility. I did not see that on tape from Hutchinson. Someone, again, who consistently made plays but still fulfilled his contain responsibilities. It's one thing I noticed on film with him.
So that's why everybody had him so high on the board. So when you go to Michigan and you ask Coach Harbaugh, what is his grade? Does he keep contained? Coach Harbaugh said, this is what he do all the time. He knows exactly what he needs to be. He's not going to jeopardize or forfeit the defense because he's getting selfish and he wants to make a play. He's going to find a way to make a play. That's just what Aidan Hutchinson is. Now, when you just cross over to the NFL league, Mark, that's what you want as a player. A guy who has a high IQ, know where he needs to be, and not going to jeopardize the play or that defense for him to make a play. So I get it. 6'7", looking like one of the Bosas, even though he's not a Bosa. You're going to get everything you need, a franchise player on and off the field. He's already pro level, but it's just the two guys between Thibodeaux and Walker who I named in front of him. The athletic ability and the ceiling isn't there for those two guys. I think what you see is what you get from Aidan Hutchinson.
He played his best football in that win over Ohio State, 15 pressures, 3 sacks. Right. And Michigan finally beat Ohio State, a huge game. I'll say this too, definitely benefited from David Ojabo being opposite him at Michigan this past season.
So now you Batman and the Robin.
I don't know if Ojabo is Batman, but definitely. Listen, you have those two dudes off the edge, especially at the collegiate level, and it's, hey, we're going to race to the quarterback and see who eats first, Ike.
I think he's a great Robin.